In this lesson, you're going to learn how to program a conditional statement or a switch block. They're the same thing. A conditional statement or a switch block, an if-then statement. Okay. So your learning goal is to understand how to program a robot, and your daily objective is that you will understand how to use a conditional statement, also called an if-then statement. So what is a conditional statement? It's an if-then statement where an action is performed if a specific condition is met. So, if it is Halloween, then you can go and collect candy. If you study hard, then you will get an A on your quiz. An action is performed, you study hard, and a specific condition is met. You do well. You will find the switch block in the flow control tabs. It is this one, as you can see from the tooltip. And we're going to take it out and attach it to the start button. Now what the switch block tells you is you can set a condition here, and whatever happens here, if that is true, the actions you have put in here will happen. If the condition set here is false, whatever actions you've put in here will happen. So we are going to use the brick buttons. I'm going to measure the brick buttons. So over here I can choose which button I'm going to use. I'm going to choose the center button. So this says, if the center button is pressed, do this. If the center button is not pressed, do this. So let us put in a display. We are going to say that if the center button is pressed, let's have it look very happy. If the center button is not pressed, well, where my expressions go, it is going to look sad. Okay? Now, when you run this, if you run this program with your finger off the robot, it is going to look sad because the minute this program runs, the button is not pressed. So it's going to look sad, and no matter how many times you press the button, it is going to stay looking sad because it only reads this once. It only reads this once. So if you want to alternate between seeing the big smile and the sad face, what you've got to do is you must put a loop in so it keeps on looking for. It keeps on reading the buttons. It keeps on measuring the buttons. Okay, so if you have this loop in here, then you can switch it on and it'll show the sad face. You press the center button and it'll give you a big smile. You let go of the center button, it'll look sad. You press the center button, it'll give a big smile. Because of the loop, forever, it keeps on checking whether the button is pressed or not. It keeps on checking whether the button is pressed or not. So that is how you can make decisions using a switch block. Here is the switch block program without a loop. And it's never going to change. Okay. Here is the switch block program. Here is the switch block program with a loop. I'm going to run it. It's sad because I'm not pressing the button. I press the button and it smiles. I take my hand off and it's sad. I press the button and it smiles. Okay. So it keeps on reading whether the button is pressed or not because the switch block is inside a loop.